Welcome to the Tired as a Mother podcast, where we discuss pregnancy, birthing experiences, postpartum, and parenting against societal norms. We are your hosts, Anissa and...
My name's Larissa, and we are so glad that you joined us for our very first season. Now grab your favorite coffee or drink and join us as we navigate through motherhood. Welcome back to our podcast. I know it's been a while since we filmed, but for today we're going to go ahead and start on the topic of our breastfeeding journeys. So Nisa, you want to go ahead and start?
Yes, so we have some similarities in breastfeeding journey and some differences. My first was 3 years ago with Elsie, and it was definitely a struggle. I remember the first week that she was born, I would pick her up and take her to the lactation consult every single day. Really? Because it was such a struggle. I would latch her there and I would bring her home, and we couldn't get the latching right. Yeah.
Oh, that's right, because she had the tongue that we talked about in the last episode. She had the tongue tie, right?
Yeah, so she had a tongue tie. So I didn't know until I went to go see the pediatrician, and the lactation consult didn't say that she had a tongue tie. So I didn't know until we saw the pediatrician, I think about 2 weeks after she was born. So I was taking her every single day to go and get help. Yes.
I feel like the lactation consultant should have been the one to recognize it.
Yeah, they can recognize it, but they can't diagnose it.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay, so she couldn't tell you, like, hey, this is the problem.
Yes, I was struggle city. So after that, I ended up just exclusively pumping because they said I would have to fix it. I think they do a type of correction procedure, like I don't really know. Yeah, like it's burning or something.
Yeah, they like burn. I think I looked into it. They burn like the little part underneath their tongue.
They burn the skin, right?
Yeah, the skin off.
Yeah, so I know. I was not about to do that to my newborn baby. So I ended up exclusively pumping, and for those that don't know what that is, it's you're still producing breast milk, but you're only using a pump to get the milk out, and you feed it by bottle. So that was a struggle. I remember just breaking down every single day about pumping. I hated it. I dreaded it. I did it for the first 3 months.
It's like a full-time job.
It's a full-time job.
You're literally
You have to do it every 2
hours.
Yes. It was a struggle, and Mike kept encouraging me to keep going, and I felt this need to give my baby only breast milk, so I kept pumping, even though I was really sad every time I did it. I was so anxious. I was not happy, and I kept going, and I didn't know that it was okay to supplement.
Do both.
Yes, until I joined this moms group on Facebook. It was exclusively pumping only moms group, and they said that for your mental health, it's okay to stop, and I think at that point I knew, so I started to cut down on my pumping. So I wasn't pumping every 2 hours. And I started supplementing with formula. And then I went back to work at 3 months postpartum.
Are you still pumping at work?
I was still pumping at work.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. But I would fall asleep in the lactation room.
Because it burns. Did you guys know it burns up to 500 to 800 calories a day? Pumping.
No way.
And that's if you're like, doing both. But if you're just exclusively pumping, I heard it can burn like 1,000 calories.
Oh, I don't know why. Are you sure? Because I'm still fat. I did not know that. No wonder my coworkers are going to be listening to this. Yeah, I was doing night shift then, so I was falling asleep in the lactation room, and I would be woken up by my pager. So that was a
30-minute nap while
it was a struggle. So I stopped. I think I eventually stopped around like 9 or 10 months, but I was barely making every single pump. I was barely making enough to feed that bottle. I didn't have enough stored. I think I only had a few extra bags when I went back to work, and then when I went back to work, I didn't have any. I was barely pumping enough to feed him the next feed, so that was stressful. So then we realized that we should start supplementing with formula. So that journey pretty much ended around like 9 or 10 months after I took a Claritin. And I didn't know that it dries you up. I should have known that as a nurse, but I didn't.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, Claritin D. I took it and I dried up. Yep.
I didn't know that.
So it wasn't really by choice. I had started cutting down my pumping, so I was doing like only twice a day instead of every 2 hours. So
if you hear our babies in the background, it's because our husbands are watching them in the next room, so we apologize.
They're stuck with 3 kids. This is the real test. So that's why I paused. But yeah, so after that, our breastfeeding journey had pretty much ended, and not by choice. I didn't even get to grieve it. It was really sad. And I still look back now that, kind of with regret that it didn't work out, but it is what it is, and I didn't know what I didn't know.
Yeah, especially because I feel like it's your first time. It's like you're learning as you're going, which kind of even makes it more frustrating because you're just like, what do I do?
Yes, that's what I'm saying. I didn't know, and mentally I was not okay with pumping that much, and the stress of it. I was just going through a lot. And being a first-time mom, like trying to pump every 2 hours, you don't really get to hold your baby.
Yeah,
I
it's
realized
a lot.
that.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
a lot of it is kind of a blur, but that's a discussion for another day. So I just had Travis in January, and I was so determined this time to make it work. And I pretty much had to, because if you have, more than one kid, you know that you can't pump and feed bottles
Yeah.
because you have your other kids depending on you. So he latched in the hospital. We came home, and I was freaking out. I don't know why. I told Mike, I don't remember how to do it. Help me latch him. Every time I fed Travis, when I brought him home, I'm like, is he getting the milk out? Help me. So he would help me.
It's probably because, like you said, the first one was such a blur because you were just like a new mom. It's the first time. And you're trying to
Yes.
figure it out and you're tired.
Yeah, so every time, even like in the middle of the night, I would wake him up to help me feed him because I couldn't really remember how the nurse said to, you have to position your breast a certain way when they're newborns.
Yeah.
And I couldn't remember how she said to feed it, but then he was like, feed it like a taco, feed it. And I didn't know what he so he's yelling, well, not yelling at me, but trying to explain it, and I'm like, I don't know what to do. So he was helping me, and then we got through the first week with him, and I just knew this time, take it day by day. So he was a better latcher, and then I knew this time around as well, every time I fed him, since he was a newborn baby, I latched the Haka. So the Haka is a silicone manual breast pump, and you get your boob to latch on it by suction. So it suctions out the milk. So every time I fed Travis, since he was a newborn, I latched the Haka on the other side. So I didn't get I didn't waste the milk that was leaking on the other side. Yeah. So that helped a lot. So we were just taking it day by day. I didn't need the lactation consult. Mike was my lactation specialist. Yeah. Even while he was at work, I'm like, I can't do this. This is too hard. And he's like, remember the taco. It's either a taco or a hamburger. I can't remember what it is. But that was really helpful. After I got that down, I was storing a ton of milk.
I know. Remember that day I came and I seen your freezer and I was like, Anissa, is that all yours?
Yes, so I had a freezer outside full, and the inside freezer was full. So I was storing so much milk, and I didn't even have to pump with my actual pump at that time.
Oh, so that was all just let down with the Haka.
That was all let down with the Haka.
On the other side, wow.
Yeah, so I would only pump if I still felt really full. I would use my Spectra pump, but that was not until maybe a month in, because when you're trying to pump with 2 kids, it's really hard. So this breastfeeding journey is way better. We're still going. Now I'm supplementing a little bit with formula. We just started about a month ago because I went back to work, and I used all that frozen milk in the freezer. Actually, I didn't use it. My husband used it when I had COVID, and I don't know how he went through 1,000 ounces of breast milk. I do not know. After I was done being sick with COVID, I was wondering where all my breast milk went. So I actually donated 500 ounces to another local mom. But I ended up using everything. So now I'm just pumping for when I'm at work. And then if we need to supplement, we can supplement. So now we are still nursing, me and Travis. When I'm home, it's usually to nap or even throughout the day to feed. So I don't have to pump because I dread pumping. It is the worst thing in the world. I don't know if I'm being dramatic, but
No, it's horrible. It's just like,
Clarissa, I hate
excuse my
it.
language, but it's literally like a nipple blaster. That's what I'm like, babe, can you bring my nipple blaster up, please? instead of my pump, because it hurts even after a while, and people are like, oh, it gets numb, but I feel like it's those first couple seconds that it turns on, it's still painful.
You probably have it on like the highest
I
setting.
do. I have it on the highest. I'm trying to get every drop I can out. Okay.
Yeah, I don't know why I hate it. So I bought the Willow Go, and I really like it because it's cord free, so you just basically stick it in your bra. And I still hate pumping. I cannot bring myself to
bring every pump in the world and nothing works. It works, but she don't like it.
It's so true. I hate it.
You have the regular Willow too, right? Like the regular one?
Yeah, I have the regular Willow, but I haven't brought it out. I didn't even test to see if it still works from Elsie. It's the first generation, and it really cut up my nipples so bad.
That's right. I remember you telling me.
So I'm kind of have PTSD from it. So I bought the new Willow Go. It's supposed to be closer to a normal pump, like a Spectra. So I bought that one to use for work. So I pump on the way to work, and I pump usually 2 or 3 times while I'm at work, and I pump on the way home.
How many ounces do you usually get?
The morning averages between 6 or 7 ounces. I think I've got 8 ounces last week each morning. And during the day, I average probably 3 or 4 ounces total. Oh, okay. I don't pump that much during the day because he normally nurses.
That's a lot in the morning. Yeah, I barely make like 2 or 3.
Yeah. Oh, in the morning? In the morning, because when I'm not working, he nurses. Like,
okay.
Sometimes he'll wake up at 6 a.m. and he'll nurse, and he'll go back to sleep, and then he'll wake up again at 8 and nurse. So my body's already used to like producing a lot for him in the morning. But throughout the day, I don't produce that much. I produce like maybe every 4 hours, 3 ounces, 3 to 4 ounces. It just depends on my hydration and my like my food intake.
Yeah.
And then at night, I will average about like 6 ounces as well.
Oh, that's good.
But that's with the Willow. And then I haven't used the Spectra lately. I'm just so over it. I want to throw it out the window.
Like, take it away.
Yes, I'm over it. So I just try to nurse him when I can so we don't have to pump. And he does a pretty good job nursing. So that's where we are. This journey is way better. I prayed about it. I really prepared my body and my mind to know that if it didn't work out, it would be okay just to give formula. But God totally blessed this journey, and I really prepared mentally for it and spiritually. I just prayed over my body, like, please help me to produce a lot of milk. Yes. Yeah, I really prepared this time, so I felt like it was really successful. And we only have a few more months left until he turns 1, so I'm excited. I know. I'm counting down because I don't have to pump anymore, but
throw your pump out the window. You're like, I'm done.
Yes. Throw it in the trash. I'm just kidding. But I'm excited for the first year to end, but I'm also sad, so
yeah,
it's depressing. But that journey was a lot better, so I'm really grateful to God that he really blessed me, and he really just fulfilled my my wishes as a mom to nurse him. So yes. What about you?
Oh man. Okay. So when Micah was born, he latched pretty good. Like after the C-section, I was a little out of it still, so I didn't really get to like hold him. The nurse kind of latched him on, and he ate, and then he had jaundice, like really bad jaundice.
Oh, yes, yeah.
So the doctor was like, he needs to be eating like every 2 hours, like consistently. So I did half breastfeeding, and then the other half was formula. And then when I got home, actually the last couple days of the hospital, I didn't breastfeed for some reason. I don't know. I can't remember why.
The last few days you were there? How many days were you there?
I was there for a while. Because he had jaundice, so we had to stay an extra 3 days.
Oh, I remember, yeah.
Yeah, and my oxygen, for some reason, my oxygen level after my C-section was, like, low, and they're like, we can't let you go. I was like...
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, they're like, I had to have the breathing thing on.
The nasal cannula?
Yeah.
The oxygen? Uh-huh.
Yeah. I was like, I feel fine. She's like, no, look at your oxygen level. I'm like, I'm fine. She's like, no, you're not. I'm not letting you go. And I was like, dang, I just wanted to get out there because...
Were your nails polished, though?
Yes.
That makes a difference.
It does?
Yeah, the sensor can't read.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, the sensor can't read under certain polishes. So you were probably okay.
Probably. I felt fine. I felt like the breathing tube made me breathe harder. Like, I was like, can you take this off so I can show you I'm breathing fine?
So you weren't short of breath? You were taking a
No,
full
I
breath?
didn't feel. Yeah, I didn't feel like it. And then they have you do that like breathing thing, like where you breathe into the tube and it shows you like how far you go
Oh,
up.
instead of spirometer?
I think so. Yeah.
I won't ask you nurse questions.
Yeah.
I'm your personal nurse.
Whatever that is. But yeah, so I did that. And then I can't remember why, but the last 2 days I didn't, he didn't latch. And then remember that's when I called you because I got home and my boobs were like hard as rocks. And I was
Yes.
like, Anissa, like, what do I do? I was crying. I was like, they hurt so bad. And you're like, okay, look, you're going to get in the shower, make it really hot. And then those Lancino things, those helped a lot during my breastfeeding.
Were they the bead?
Yeah, the little purple, it's like purple.
You put it in the microwave?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You can put it in the microwave or in the freezer.
Yes.
Yeah, I put it on the highest setting in the microwave. I was like, these things need to be burning because I cannot deal with this. But we did half and half, and then when we got home,
how did you relieve that?
the
The engorgement. You know how you get your milk and you get engorgement, and then you can have the engorgement syndrome. Did you get engorgement syndrome?
the first day I got home, it was literally an hour after I stepped in the house.
Okay.
It was like all of a sudden just turned hard as rocks.
But did you get a fever, chills?
I got a fever.
Okay, you had engorgement syndrome. Yeah. Oh my gosh, I remember that.
Yeah, remember I texted you. And then
but you didn't seem like you were panicking. You seemed like you were okay.
I like to act like nothing's wrong to make myself feel better. But no, what I did was those purple things, and then I got in the really hot shower.
Yes.
And then I literally just massaged it out.
While you were in the shower?
While I was in the shower. And then I used my pump on like the highest setting for like literally an hour. And I just had a bunch of milk coming out. And I was like, cool, like I have a bunch of milk. But then after, I was still I wasn't pumping. I was just breastfeeding because he was still latching. And I heard that if you do breastfeeding and you do bottle feeding, they can get confused.
Oh, yeah, nipple confusion.
They'll just want one or the other.
I don't find that to be true.
I didn't really do a lot of research. That's what I heard. So I was like, I didn't know what to do. You know, I'm a first time mom. I was like, what do I do?
Yeah.
But so I just kept latching him, but then I wasn't sure if he was getting enough. Okay. And I didn't know that they lose weight the first couple weeks.
Oh yeah, they lose a lot of weight.
They drop weight. And I was just like, I'm not making enough. Like he's not latching right. Like how can I tell if he's like getting milk? And my husband's so cute. He was like, babe, we should invent something where we can tell like how much milk is being let out.
Oh,
like for the baby, you know, nobody stole that idea, by the way.
That's a good idea. That's the engineer in him.
Like a little sensor or something that can tell like the baby's getting enough milk.
I love that.
And so we took him to the doctor and they're like, oh, it's fine. They drop weight. And as long as he picks it back up, you should keep feeding him every 2 hours because he still had a little bit of the jaundice. Still.
Oh
I think he had it for the first, I want to say 3 or 4 weeks. They wanted to take him back to the hospital. And I was like, I don't want to go back. Let's just keep giving him sun, keep feeding him. So we did that. And then I don't remember when it was that I started pumping. Oh, because I was so tired. I was like, I need help, you know? So I couldn't breastfeed. I mean, I was still breastfeeding, but I was pumping at the same time. So he was getting the bottle and the boob.
Smart.
So then that helped a lot. And then I think I was only pumping like maybe 2 ounces, 2.5 ounces. And he's already like a month and a half.
That's still normal.
I know, but I didn't know that. I didn't know. I was like, I'm not making enough. Then I started crying because I'm like, I'm not able to feed my baby. And then I was like you, I didn't know like just breastfeeding was the only way to feed your baby. Yes. Because I heard if you breastfeed, it helps build up their immunity. Yes. So it like helps for when they get sick and stuff. So I was like, I have to keep doing it. I was like, I'm not doing enough. What do I do?
We kind of feel like guilty.
Yeah.
Like kind of guilt into it, you know?
Yeah. I felt like a failure.
Yeah. Like the pressure of it is a lot.
Yeah. I had so much anxiety. Remember how we were talking about the postpartum like depression and stuff? Yeah. I feel like breastfeeding had a lot to do with that.
Yeah, and there's no resources. That's what I'm saying. There's no education. You have to literally take like a breastfeeding class to know all of this stuff.
Or literally research on Google for like hours. But then if you do that, everybody has different opinions on stuff, you know? But yeah, there's a lot of Instagram accounts that I follow that help me a lot.
Okay.
And a lot of moms, you helped me.
Yes.
A couple of my friends on Instagram, I was like, if anybody knows about this, like, please send out.
I love it.
So I had a lot of moms DM me, which I thought was really cool because everybody has different experiences, you know? So it's cool to have, like, different strategies on how to get, like, the most milk or how to get rid of your clogged ducts. But So we were doing both. And then one day he just stopped taking like breastfeeding. And I got so sad. It's so funny because he's 8, he's gonna be 9 months now. And the other day I tried to latch him and he just was so disgusted. He was like grossed out and I just cried. I was just like, oh my gosh.
Like, get this out of my
He's
mouth.
like, this is disgusting.
This foreign object.
But yeah, so back to I was only pumping like 2 or 3 ounces, which I didn't know was normal for the first 2-3 months, I think.
Yeah, it's actually normal the entire time.
Yeah. Right? Because I heard when your baby gets older and you're still breastfeeding, your milk changes. Like, it gets more fattier.
The composition,
yeah. And I didn't know that. So this whole time I literally only pumped maybe like between 4 to 5 ounces.
Yeah.
Between 2 to 5 in that range. Just depends on, again, how much water I drink.
Yeah, it's normal.
What helped me a lot was that legendary milk, those pills, those all natural pills.
I know, I still want to try those.
I think I used the Pump Princess and the gold one.
And they both work?
And they both worked really well. I tried a couple of other ones that have like fenugreek.
Uh-huh.
But fenugreek can either make you produce a lot more milk or it can decrease it.
Oh, yeah.
Everybody's different. Okay. So like for me it actually increased, but Micah was very gassy.
Oh, yeah.
Like, he had a lot of stomach problems.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I didn't take that. So this Instagram that I follow, it's called Legendary Milk. They have all natural ingredients, and both of them worked for me. I tried 2 of them.
Okay.
That Pump Princess and the yellow one. And then I did those booby bars from Target.
Yes, yeah, I use those. Yeah,
those work really well. It's like, again, it's all natural. If you're struggling with milk production, look up galactagogues.
Okay.
That's what it is.
Oh, I didn't even know. What is that?
It's like herbs that help you produce more milk.
Oh.
They're like all natural where it doesn't make you gassy, doesn't interrupt with like your body.
Is that what Legendary uses?
Yes. They use a lot of galactagogues. I think it's like cinnamon. It's I can't remember, but there's a bunch of different ones, but it works different for everybody.
Okay.
So I did that and it helped my milk supply a lot. And those body armor drinks.
Really? I didn't ever take them.
Yeah, they help a lot. The body armor, I think I seen it on TikTok. There was this mom and she had like freezers, like literally 3 freezers full of milk.
That's so
And all she
crazy.
drank was the body armor. They have 2 of them. They have the body armor regular, which has a lot of sugar. Uh-huh. But then they have body armor light that they came out with and it has no added sugar. I think it's like 3 grams of sugar.
Oh, I think, yeah. My coworker drinks them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they help a lot.
Oh, I heard about them, but then I was already drinking coconut water, and coconut water seemed to help me a lot, and the sugar was kind of already high. I mean, it's all natural sugar, so that's why I didn't add the body armor, but that's a good idea.
Yeah, they help a lot. You can literally get them anywhere. So I did that, and then...
Did you ever try brewer's yeast? You know, like the yeast that they use
they
to
have
make,
that
like...
in the pills, in the legendary milk pills.
Oh, that's why. Okay, now I really have to try them, because I used... the brewer's yeast with Elsie. I would put it in my oatmeal or my coffee, and the amount of milk that I would get was crazy.
Yeah, yes. They have that in there.
Okay, I'm gonna try.
They work really good. I'll put the link on our Instagram probably.
Okay.
And then so right now he's gonna be 9 months. I started supplementing at like 7. I want to say 7 months. Because we tried a couple different formulas and he didn't like them. So I was like, what do we do? And then we finally tried the Target brand and he liked it. Oh. So I was like, oh, cool. I kind of get a little bit of a break.
Yeah, because every time I seen you, you would have to leave to go pump.
Yeah,
so you can have a bottle.
Pumping in church. I would go on stage and then run off. And
go
pump,
yeah.
Just so I could make a bottle because I wasn't producing enough where I could leave it.
Okay, so were you only producing enough for the next feeding?
I was literally only producing enough for the next feeding, which means I was pumping like every 2 hours.
That's stressful.
Less than 2 hours because he was eating every 2 hours.
Oh my God.
So my body was like, and then they say the more you pump, the more you get. But I think I was so stressed
that it wasn't
that I wasn't getting anything.
The letdown.
I literally had to like work to keep my milk supply, not even up, but like enough.
That's crazy.
It's a lot. It's a lot. So he was doing, right now he's doing half. So I pump in the morning once.
Okay.
And then I give him the bottle right away. And then the rest of the day is formula. And then I pump at night. And before he goes to sleep, he takes the bottle.
Okay.
Because I heard when you pump at night, it has like a melatonin.
Yes.
To help him sleep. I'm like, let me get that boy to sleep. because he fights his sleep.
Yes.
He does not want to go to sleep. He just wants to party all the time.
Yes.
He gets FOMO. Literally, if there's people around or he sees, like my husband and I are watching TV or something, he just wants to be awake. And he'll fight it.
He was fighting it today. He would not take a nap. So you're giving him the all-natural melatonin.
Yeah, so at nighttime. Yeah, so at nighttime I make sure to pump and give it to him. But I didn't know Claritin will dry you out because I'm trying to like completely stop.
Oh yeah, so take Claritin D. It has a decongestant in there, and it will completely dry you. You probably have to take it a few times, but I only took it that one time, and I was barely producing any type of milk. So I would highly suggest that you take it.
Take it? Yeah, I'm gonna try to take it. So you can
stop doing.
Because I wanted to stop like cold turkey, but I heard that's how you get clogged ducts again.
Yeah, you don't want to have...
And I was like, I'm not going to do that again.
You do not want to get an infection either. That would be so bad. You would be even more stressed out.
Yeah, I heard you can get really sick, right?
Yeah.
You have to like go to the hospital and they have to give you antibiotics and it's just this big whole mess. I'm like, great, another thing to add to my breastfeeding journey. Let me not go through this again.
Yeah, Claritin D, take it.
Another thing that helped me produce milk too was power pumping. Did you ever have to do that?
Oh yes, I power pumped with Elsie. I felt like it helped a lot.
Yeah, it helps a lot, but it also like it's very unrealistic because you have to pump like 10 minutes, and then you do 20, and then you stop for 5, and then you do
that's true.
So you like have to make sure your partner or somebody's with you to like watch the baby because it's going to take you at least an hour to power pump.
Yeah, I hate pumping. Yeah. I literally despise.
This is the hate pumping show. If you haven't realized that by now.
Who created pumping? Honestly, and you know what? There's like some moms that respond really well to hand pumps, but I just can't.
The manual pumps.
I tried it, but I didn't.
Really?
It didn't work. I think the flange size was too big because I wasn't getting anything, and it wasn't like actually sucking. So I haven't tried it since. It's just sitting in my drawer.
Which one did you get?
The Lancino one.
The Lancino one? Okay, yeah. I heard it can help a lot. Especially like if you're traveling, like in the car, you just hand pump. But do you use 2? Or do you just use 1?
Just use 1.
And then what about the letdown on the other one? On the other boob?
Your shirt's going to be soaked.
Oh, speaking of that, going back to the Haka, that helped me a lot too when I first started.
The Haka?
Yeah, I didn't catch on till like the 3rd week though, because he was breastfeeding on one, and then the other one my shirt was soaked, and I'm just like, what do I do? Yeah. Like, what is this? I think you're the one that actually told me to get the Haka. You're like, go to Target, pick it up. It's like $15. It's gonna help you.
It's life changing.
Yeah, it really is. It's just I felt like I had to do a YouTube video on how to get it to suction.
Yes, I didn't know until I had Travis. I had it with Elsie, and I didn't know how to use it.
Yeah, I mean it looks simple, so I just like stuck it on there. I'm like, why isn't it?
No,
sticky?
you have to like peel it back and like suction it. It's like a bulb suction almost.
Yeah, I didn't know that. I'm like, it's sticking on there. I'm like, babe, hold it while I'm feeding on the other one. But yeah, if you're gonna be a mom or if you're struggling with like all the letdown on the other side, I'd highly recommend looking up a YouTube video on how to do it
on the Haka.
Yeah, because I had no clue. I was totally using it wrong, and I wasted a lot of milk.
Yeah, I got, I want to say 1,000 just from the Haka, and the other 1,000 was
right. It was your whole freezer, huh?
Yeah, and then the other 1,000 that I had was from pumping, just after or before feedings. And yeah, the Haka is really good. I love the Haka. If I had another baby, which I'm not gonna have another baby, but
Mike,
I buy it for everybody else, so they know. Yeah, but okay, if I didn't have COVID, I could have stopped pumping already. I could have stopped breastfeeding already. That's how much milk I had.
Yeah, that's true. You had a lot.
I know.
There was a lot in there.
So now every time I pump, I'm so sad because I got COVID and I was so sick and I had to use all my milk. So what would you say, what was your biggest lessons from breastfeeding, your first journey?
Definitely patience. Have patience with yourself.
Yes.
And it's okay to ask for help.
Yes. You did.
Yeah.
I was so proud of you.
I did. I was like, hey, help me. I can't do this, SOS. But yeah, I think asking for help, and definitely suggest doing your research on it's okay to supplement.
Is it really though?
Yeah.
No, I'm just kidding.
I'm like, wait, is it?
I'm just kidding. Yes, it is. Yes, please supplement.
I feel like they just teach you like, oh, breastfeeding and it's easy and you just plop your baby on your boob, and
It's not.
It's a journey. You have to prepare
Yes.
yourself, definitely. Like after the hospital, I didn't do any research.
Okay.
I mean, I just did research. I was like, oh, just buy a pump and the baby will breastfeed until he's this old, and then I'll just
Yes.
start pumping and then bottle. But yeah, it's a lot.
It is mentally, physically.
Mm-hmm.
It's all draining.
What about you? What was your well, you have two, so you had two different experiences.
Yeah. So I know now I would not exclusively pump. It's the hardest thing. And if I did, I would probably only do it twice a day like you're doing now.
Yeah, just
morning
so they can
and
get
night.
some kind of...
Or I probably wouldn't even do it at night because I'm doing it at night right now and I'm so stressed out sometimes because I want to go to sleep. Yeah. And I'm thinking I'm still engorged. I still have to let this milk out and he's already asleep when I get home from work. So I would probably pump like twice a day if I wasn't actually latching my baby. And the Haka for sure, ever since he was a newborn. So when you have your baby, use your Haka on the other side, catch a letdown, and that'll prepare you for your future with
Pumping.
your baby. Yeah. Because if you use your Haka and you store all that milk, you'll have it for if you have to go back to work or if you just need it if you get sick. Yeah. So that was really helpful. That is a game changer, the Haka. And then also looking up engorgement syndrome. I didn't get it with Travis, maybe because my body already knew. But do you hear them? In the background laughing. But it was a struggle. The first time I had engorgement, I was in my bed shaking. I had a hot flash. I had
you got
fever.
it really bad?
Oh, it was so bad.
I didn't know you got it so bad.
I had to call my friend at 2:00 in the morning because I had no idea what was going on. So I went to the shower and I almost passed out.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. So I had to call my friend and say, what is going on? Please help me.
Yeah.
And I was like you. I didn't pump and I didn't know. So I was only latching Elsie. And I would latch her and she wouldn't fully pull out the milk.
Yeah.
So I came home from the hospital like that, so stressed out. And yeah, my boobs were rock hard and I had a fever, I had chills, shaking, everything. And Mike didn't know what was going on with me. I didn't. I felt like I was dying. Honestly,
God,
it was so bad.
Yeah, so if you're going to be a mom soon, remember, even though baby feeds, you might still have some in there.
Yes.
And that's how you get engorgement.
Yes.
So after baby feeds, pump, and then whatever is left over in the pump, just save it, right?
Yes. And I didn't know your milk takes a few days to come in.
Yeah, it's just the colostrum for the first couple days.
Yeah, it's crazy. That's what happened when I had the engorgement syndrome. My milk came in and I had no idea. So after I called my friend, she told me to go into the shower because I didn't have a pump. So she said to go in the shower and just massage them. So after that, I felt a lot better. But the next day, I went to go get a pump. Yeah, let me not go through this. Let me not struggle. So that was a huge lesson too. And then now that I have to supplement with formula, I'm honestly like, I don't even care. Yeah. I don't second guess it. I don't put myself down for it like I did the first time. I really don't care.
Yeah,
as long as my baby's being fed.
Yeah, I feel like we put a lot of pressure on ourselves too.
Yes.
To do it all.
Yes.
Like everything. Like I can take care of the baby. I don't need anybody to watch the baby. I can feed the baby. Everything. And I feel like it could be overwhelming.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, I feel like that's part of the like postpartum thing where it can cause a lot of depression.
Yes.
You just put so much pressure on yourself to do everything by yourself.
Yes. And then there's this syndrome when you pump and you have a letdown. Your mind like you can get really depressed from it. It releases a certain hormone.
Yeah, I didn't know that. I seen that too.
Yeah. So I had to be like cognizant of that this time around. I haven't really experienced it now with Travis, but with Elsie it was pretty bad. So now I know, just supplement, it's okay, baby's fed, do the best that I can and produce what I can at this time. So that's what I've learned the second journey, and really just taking it day by day.
Yeah. So those are our very different but similar breastfeeding journeys. If you guys ever have any questions or feel like you're struggling, our DMs are always open. Yes. We'd love to help. I know it's a lot easier when you have somebody that you can be like, hey, are you going through this? And you guys share like similar experiences. It's just, you don't feel so alone.
Yes.
But we'll continue into our next episode next week. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you guys next time.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.